Hey guys, Kaufman is a live YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book by DC Comics, Absolute Power #3. It's a $4.99 comic book. Got Mark Waid writing and Dan Mora's on the art. If you've followed my channel or know anything about what I've been doing lately, I'm not a big DC fan. Haven't really been reading any DC comics. Not sure about what some of the main storylines are. Although I did read the Titans and I read the Suicide Squad book from a few years back. There was the War on Earth 2 miniseries that spread through a few different books. I did pick up on that, and that does kind of inform me a bit about Absolute Power because in that storyline we had Amanda Waller first kind of setting up her multiversal army, which is something she's still basically doing here in this storyline. So, this Absolute Power storyline's been building up in DC for the past few years, if you believe what the editors in DC have been saying. So, this is kind of all the big lead up to All In, where they're going to be basically creating their own ultimate universe in DC, just like how Marvel has an ultimate universe. So, I did do reviews of issues 1 and 2 of this book, so if you haven't seen those yet, go check those out. In the last issue, we did see some major things happening, like the Fortress of Solitude got destroyed, and Superman's son, Jonathan, has been turned into like a brainiac Superman robot doing the bidding of Amanda Waller. So most of the heroes have been taken out or killed or put in prison. Waller turned the Supermax prison into a prison for all the heroes and basically let out all the villains. One thing I did want to point out in this book that I think is kind of funny, and I don't know if it would actually, happen like this in their world, where the heroes are actually calling like Waller and her entire group, they're actually being referred to as villains in the book, which maybe that's a DC thing, but I always find it kind of weird when you're reading a story and there's two opposing forces, and one of the forces is calling the other a villain or a do-gooder. I always think that's kind of a weird thing to say, like in dialogue, because from a villain's perspective, generally speaking, they're not the villain. They are almost always justified in their own actions. So I just find it weird they're using verbiage like that in a story. Now, it is a superhero story. That's a genre that it's in. So it's just a little nitpick I have. But and then here's another nitpick I have. This is the third issue, and DC hasn't gotten this straight once. These pages are not lined up correctly at all. Seems like a pretty simple fix, and maybe after the first issue they could have fixed it. But I don't know if that's just laziness or a lack of quality control, but so we've got Waller here. She's got Failsafe, which was the Batman robot, and he's on her side along with the Brainiac Queen. So we've got the heroes that are left. There's the Red Tornado, and this is Dr. Midnight, I believe. I told you I'm not a huge DC guy, so some of these characters I'm not too familiar with. This guy's name's Airwave, and apparently he can create like radio waves out into the world just by using his helmet, but without his helmet, he doesn't have any sort of superpowers at all. The Titans are still here. We've got Mr. Terrific here, and we find out that they've all been teleported to Themyscira, which is where the Wonder Women live. All the Amazonians, I guess I should say, not call them Wonder Women, but Wonder Woman is here. And they're taking refuge here because they can't be tracked here. There's some magic that cloaks this island so that Failsafe and Waller can't find them while they kind of regroup. So we've got the Queen of Themyscira, and she's kind of bickering with Nightwing over who's going to be in control here. And Nightwing eventually shows that he's the one that's going to be leading this entire charge here. So they put together their battle plan. We've got Green Lantern showing up here. He's got a bunch of Justice League tech that he's going to give some of the heroes that don't have any powers or abilities or fighting ability. I guess none of them have powers at this point, but some of them have fighting ability. So, and the Flash, he's still got his power, so he's able to do Flash things. But and I don't know which Green Lantern this is. I'm assuming this is Hal Jordan. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments if you know. Kind of looks like Guy Gardner with the red hair, but not too sure. Pretty sure it's not Kyle. So anyway, we get the ad for All In here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the upcoming All In from DC. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you like it? Are you going to be reading it? Are you all out on DC like I pretty much am? So we go to China here. The People's Republic. Failsafe shows up. Basically tells them that they're in control now. The world governments have no use for the world governments, but they should be thanking Waller and Failsafe because they're getting rid of all the metas. So I love this panel down here of the Brainiac Queen. She's in like a server room, like seeping all the data out. It's a cool looking panel there. There's some great artwork in here. Really big fan of Dan Mora's artwork. It's very, very fine line and detailed. Lots of great camera angles and just some wonderful storytelling. I mean, the artwork is just some really great stuff in here. I can't compliment it enough. So Waller notices that some of the Failsafe robots, she's got her own Justice League of Failsafe robots using the powers of Omezo. But she realizes some of them aren't working up to 100% capacity. So Failsafe says that he needs to reboot them. It shouldn't cause any problems. It'll only take an instant. But in that one instant that he reboots these robots, it gives Flash time to get away. So he's been being hunted by this Flash Failsafe robot named Velocity. But he gets away from him thanks to the quick reboot. And then somebody gets in Flash's comms. We don't know who it is. It's a mystery man. He tells Flash he needs to get to the lower levels of the Supermax prison. And Flash doesn't know if he can trust this person. Perhaps a clue to who it is. He says, do what Flash always does in a crisis. Save the world or die trying. Then we get this quick little interlude where they're fighting Bizarro, who's been taken over by Waller and Failsafe. As you see, he's got all these techno-organic metal and contraptions put on the side of his head and on his body here. And I'm not really sure what happens here. Aquaman says he brought something that he thinks can stop him. And then he just gets like punched right through the gut by Bizarro. But that just leads to Bizarro like his like techno-organism like turning against him or something, and they quickly defeat him. I'm not even sure what happened there. Aquaman says he used alien flora or something, so okay, I'll go with it. I feel, even though I do like the artwork, some of the panels there is like so much going on. Like in this page here, there's just like, it's hard to tell what is even happening here in some of these pages. So we do get let's see, we've got some of the heroes. Red Tornado, we got Blue Beetle down here. They're trying to infiltrate below deck. They run into Star, who's the Time Commander here, and they're going to spring him out of the jail here, but he says no, they'll never get past Black Alice, who's like this goth character. I guess she's got like magical goth powers or something. I don't know. I've never heard of her before, but she gets taken out by Wonder Woman from behind, but then Deadshot shoots Red Tornado right in the head. So they all start running away. They don't know if Red Tornado's dead yet or not. So we get Aquaman talking to Arrowwave here. He says he's just pissed because he's grieving, and they're all in this horrible situation that they're in, and he doesn't even know what he's doing here now. And Aquaman's trying to encourage him. He says, "You're wrong. The suit is your tool, but your power's in here," pointing to his heart. And he says, no matter you're lost, someone out there is always lost more. Don't stop fighting for them. So there's definitely some good, like, moral story here in this comic book. It's not all just kind of mindless fighting. Mark Waid's trying to put in some lessons and some morals in here, which I do appreciate a lot. So we've got Mr. Terrific here. He's working on some machines here, and it unfortunately leads to the Brainiac Queen finding their base here, and the failsafe robot is here, and it's actually John Kent, who's been completely taken over by the techno-organisms and the Brainiac Queen. I do like that they call him Super Son in this comic. I don't know if that's something they've been doing recently. I did buy the first issue of the Son of Superman, the Kal-El series that came out a year or two ago, and I never picked up on them calling him Super Son, but I almost feel like if they just kind of rebooted Jonathan Kent and started calling him Super Son, and then you got Superman, I just think that would work really well. It gives him his own identity. He's not just taking the mantle of Clark Kent Superman, which, I'm never a fan of them passing the mantle on to another character unless it's really earned, which is few and far between in my eyes. So anyway, the heroes are trying to fight back against Jonathan Kent here. Raven's saying they need to wait for the other heroes who had left to go on their missions to come back, but there's no time. They have to fight or die. So she's about to take out Jonathan Kent, but Nightwing actually stops her, and he says he knows something that she doesn't. So he challenges Jonathan Kent to fight him face to face, which would be an interesting fight, I feel like. And Nightwing would probably get completely trounced, but as soon as Jonathan Kent steps foot on the ground, the magic from the island starts infiltrating Jonathan Kent and trying to separate him from the technomancy. And Nightwing explains all this here in the dialogue. But essentially it does work. And Nightwing does the same thing to the Brainiac Queen, showing her the truth about who they all are. They're actually heroes. They're here to help. And Waller's been feeding the Brainiac Queen lies. So once she gets this information, she realizes that this is the actual truth. So Batman's got this mother box. So Waller, she overrides the Brainiac Queen, takes over as the Brainiac Queen. So we just get a couple panels here of Waller as the Brainiac Queen, but Batman quickly disposes of her with the mother box, sends her to Pluto. And then we get Jonathan reunited with Clark here. And Queen Nubia, she says that one battle isn't going to end the war, so Waller will probably be back. And Batman goes to talk with the Time Commander Star here, and he says, you know how to get everyone powers back, don't you? So the final page here, we go to the Supermax basement of Waller here, where Flash was sent by the Mystery Man, and he discovers a transmatter machine and his, crisis map here with all the Earths, all the infinite Earths. So He's like, how'd she get it? And the mystery man says she stole it like she's stolen everything else, and she's using it to build a multiversal army. So even though we've gotten rid of Waller, apparently, in this issue, and everything seems to kind of be resolved for the most part at the end of this issue, we discovered that she's got this multiversal army that she's been building. So I think the next issue, issue 4, is the final issue of this miniseries, and it looks like we're going to get the final battle. So I did really enjoy this issue, even though I'm not a big DC guy. I didn't even know who all the characters were, but it moves at a super fast pace. It's got some good writing, like I said. There's actually some good stories here within this book, and there's some good resolution too. The heroes, they take out the villains, but we're kind of left on a cliffhanger to see where this is all going to go. So I do recommend this book, and I'm interested to see what the next issue is going to be. So stick around for that, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. I do post daily comic book reviews, so if you like videos like this, please like and comment, and I will see you guys on the next one.